Good day, everyone. This is Coach Reese coming at you with another great video. I'm hoping all is well with you and your family and that you're enjoying your day. Today's video is entitled Live in the Present. Live in the Present. And I feel that this video is very important because young people, as you know, you can't change the past. And as far as I know, we can't predict the future. You know, of course, you may have religious prophets or whatever that may prophesy certain things, but I'm talking about regular folks like you and me that, I know for sure that I can't predict the future. You know what I mean? But anyway, it's very important, young people, that you live in the present because the present, living in the present moment is your current reality, right? Living in the present moment is your current reality. And so you can do things to change. You can change your actions in the present. But like I say, you can't change your actions of the past and you can't change your actions of the future. So living in the present is very important. Now, this video, like I say, is entitled Live in the Present. But this video is mainly tied to family relationships, living in the present moment, dealing with family relationships. And I have 3 points that I want to talk about in this video. And like I said, I think today, this is an ongoing series where, I'm just, making videos on the fly, different things that come across my mind. And I feel that it's very important that I express what I have, I express what I have for you, just doing a video on the fly. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my 3 points. Before my mom passed away, there was a period of time right at the end of her life, towards the very end, I say a month or so before she passed away, there was a period where I saw extreme weight loss in my mom. Like I would go see her, like, I don't know what day, like on a Monday or Friday or Saturday or whatever. And then I would go back, maybe 7 days later, and I see, her losing weight, within that short period of time, just a couple of days. And that was a very hurtful experience for me. I just remember her losing weight like every week. I would see my mom get smaller and smaller, and I remember the last time I saw my mom, it was a point where I can see her bone under her eyes, and it was very painful to see that. And unfortunately, young people, I made a painful decision not to go back because I just couldn't take it no more. But when I think back on it, it was a bad decision. I'm about ready to explain why. My other point is, during this time, my uncle, he would travel to come see his sister or whatever. And I just remember a conversation that me and my uncle had. And my uncle said this. He said, Reese, you need to take advantage of the moment. You need to see your mom as much as possible, because he said, once she's gone, and there's no turning back, So what he was saying is, when people pass away, there's no such thing as coming back, in the human form, I should say. So, I really didn't take that to heart. My problem was I just didn't have the courage, right? I didn't have the courage to go see my mom because every time I saw my mom, it was just very painful to look at my mom. She was a very weak, frail woman. And, when my mom was in good health, she was very healthy. She had a respectable amount of weight on her. And, she was a very independent, hardworking, very loving woman. And for her to go from very healthy and loving and hardworking to go to very frail and weak, and, where you can see her bone structure of her physical body, that was just very painful for me to witness that. And young people, unfortunately, I just didn't have the courage to go back to see her. So fast forward, you know, I have a vivid memory of me driving in my car on the way to my mom's funeral. And I remember what my uncle told me many weeks ago about taking advantage of the moment. And at that moment, young people, I just lost it. I really started crying. And I remember grieving on my way to my mom's funeral because I should have took advantage of the moment and seen my mom while she was alive and had breath in her lungs, and she was, still much alive. And I regret not taking advantage of the moment. So, young people, I just want to say this, I want to pass on the same advice that my uncle passed on to me. If you ever experience, the dying, the dying process of a loved one, like if the doctors tell you that, your mom or dad will be passing away in a certain amount of time, or your brothers or sisters will be passing away at a certain time, I encourage you, young people, to take advantage of the moment and to spend as much time as you can with them. Now understand if your family member lives extremely far away. Like, for example, if your parents live on the East Coast and you live in California, that is quite a bit of ways to travel, and I understand that. But if you can, take a leave of absence from your job and, take advantage of the little time left that you have with your mom or dad or brother or sister, I'm telling you, it will be a tremendous blessing to you. Because in my situation, young people, when my mother finally passed away, I elected to do a closed casket because of I couldn't take it, looking at my frail mom. She was very skinny. Like I say, you can see her bone structure, and it was just very hard for me to look at. And that's why I told the funeral people that I prefer to do a closed casket. So my last memory of my mom, like I say, I just remember seeing the bone under her eyes, and it was very painful to experience that. And like I say, young people, I should have had the courage to see my mom while she was alive and take advantage of the moment. My last point is this, young people. Family time is precious, right? Family time is precious. When you young people, when you grow up and you get married, you're gonna be involved in your future careers, and you're gonna spend probably quite a bit of time away from your wife and children and everything. But when you do have the time, young people, you need to take advantage of the moment, right? Live in the present, right? Because every day that you get up to go to work, those hours that you worked will never be given back to you, right? The times that you spend away from your wife and children will never be given back to you, right? So when you do have the time, young people, you need to take advantage of the moment and spend as much time with your wife or husband and children, because, in the long run, it would be a tremendous blessing to you. Because if by chance something happens to your loved ones, you can say to yourself that I gave as much time as I possibly can, between juggling my career and other obligations that I may have. I took the time to spend time with my husband or wife and children. And I want you to be in that position, young people, because if you're in that position, that would be a tremendous blessing for you. Okay, young people, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I have 3 points on wisdom. I have a statement dealing with critical thinking. And then I'm going to go ahead and end my video with the ending statement of practice. I'm going to go ahead and start with my 3 points on wisdom. Point number 1, wise people are good listeners. Point number 2, wise people have the thirst or desire to learn good knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Point number 3, wise people have the courage to teach their wisdom. So young people, I encourage you to do your research on the topic of wisdom. And I pray, young people, that you all will pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness. Young people, if you pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness, it will be a tremendous blessing to you in the long run, okay? I have a statement dealing with critical thinking, and it goes like this. Always be a critical thinker, especially when making big decisions. Always be a critical thinker, especially when making big decisions. So young people, I encourage you all to do your research on the topic of critical thinking. And I also encourage you all to discuss the topic of critical thinking with your parents. And your parents will help you navigate the differences between making big decisions and minor decisions. Young people, it's just my humble opinion, the sooner you become a critical thinker, the better off you'll be, and it will be a tremendous blessing to you in the long run, okay? I'm going to go into my ending statement of practice, young people. I love you. I want the best for you. I want you to practice using love and wisdom in all that you do. Life is a game that you must learn how to play. Practicing love and wisdom with your family, friends, and loved ones creates a powerful team. Love conquers all, young people, even if you feel defeated. So young people, I encourage you to keep loving and keep growing and gaining in wisdom, and God will bless you in the long run. Young people, I encourage you all to hit the thumbs up on this video. I encourage you, young people, to share this video with family, friends, and loved ones. And I encourage you all to subscribe to my channel. At the end of the day, young people, I want you to accomplish all your goals and dreams in life. And I want you to be the best person that you possibly can be every single day of your life. That is very important. I have one more nugget of wisdom before I officially conclude this video. And I think I have another little tidbit that I want to share with you as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start with this nugget of wisdom. Don't ever think that you're better than anyone else, but rather, young people, think of yourself as just as good as anyone else. Humility is a vital key to a successful life. And I pray, young people, that you apply that nugget of wisdom to your life as well. This came in my spirit before I officially conclude this video. And I just want to say this. Time is something that you can't replace. Once a minute or a second or hour passes by, you can't get that time back. So young people, I'm asking, this is my final plea to you, to take advantage of the moment, enjoy your family and friends while you're able. Because like I say, just as my uncle told me several weeks ago, once that loved one has passed away, that you'll never be able to see them again in the physical realm. And I just don't want you guys to go through that. So I'm just going to go ahead and conclude my video by saying this. May God bless you and may God keep you until we meet again.